Excretory system notes substances to be got rid of carbon dioxide এটা একটা সাবস্টেন্স that should be got rid of eliminated through the lungs nitrogenous wastes it is formed by the breakdown of proteins in the liver it is eliminated through the kidney excess salts and vitamins eliminated through the kidney water eliminated through the kidney bile pigments it is formed after breaking down of rbc and hemoglobin in the liver it is eliminated with faces faeces and faces মানে undigested food and urine next kidneys excess nitrogenous wastes এটাও মানে excrete করে দিতে হয় sweat glands মানে things to be got rid of sweat glands excretes water and small amount of urea incidental for thermoregulation our lungs excretes carbon dioxide next function of the excretory system the human excretory system functions to remove wastes from the human body. During this process, animals get rid of nitrogenous waste products of metabolism, including ammonia, urea, and uric acid. Although excretory systems are diverse, nearly all produce urine in a process that involves several steps. Although excretory systems are diverse, nearly all produce urine in a process that involves several steps. Functions of the excretory system. Filtration. The excretory tubule collects filtrate from the blood. Water and solutes are forced by blood pressure across the selectively permeable membranes of a cluster of capillaries and into the excretory tubule. এবার reabsorption. The transport epithelium reclaims valuable substances from the filtrate and returns them. Secretion. Other substances are extracted from body fluids and added to the contents of the excretory tube. Excretion. The filtrate leaves the system and the body. Next question. Next. Structure of the excretory system. This system consists of specialized structures and capillary networks that assist in excretory process. The human excretory system includes the kidney and its functional unit, the nephron. The excretory activity of the kidney is changed by specialized hormones that regulate the amount of absorption within the nephron. Excretory system কি কি আছে কিডনি ইউরেটাস MEATUS মেটাস ইউরেথ্রা ইউরিনারি ব্লাডার মেটাসটা কি জানি না next question kidney কি kidney both sides of located on both sides of the spine between thoracic and lumbar vertebrae located both sides of the spine between thoracic and lumbar vertebrae. Blood enters the kidneys through renal arteries and leaves through renal veins. Tubes called ureters carry waste products from kidney to urinary bladder for storage or for release. During urination, urine is expelled from the urinary bladder through urethra. Flow of urine from glomerulus to renal tubules, from renal tubules to renal pelvis, from renal pelvis to calyces, from calyces to ureters, আর এইদিকে renal artery, renal vein, ureter, renal medulla, renal capsule, renal cortex. Next, kidneys filter about 1700 liters of blood daily in the average adult. Parts of the kidneys: cortex, outer protective portion; medulla, inner soft portion; hilum are depression located in the middle of the concave side of the kidney, where blood vessels, nerves, and ureters enter and exit the kidneys. Cortex is where the blood is filtered. Medulla contains the collecting ducts which carry filtrate to the pelvis. The pelvis is a hollow cavity where urine accumulates and drains into the ureter. ছবি এঁকেছে একটা cortex, medulla, renal artery, renal vein, nephron, ureter. Next, nephron. The functional units of the kidney are called nephrons. Nephrons are located in the renal cortex except for their loops of Henle which descend into the renal medulla. Next, nephron, two parts: renal corpuscles, renal tubules. Renal corpuscles, Bowman capsule, glomerulus. এবার glomerulus কি fenestrae pore in endothelial walls of glomerulus. Fenestrae, Fenestrae, pore in endothelial walls of glomerulus. Podocytes, specialized cells. Filtration slits, তাহলে কি গ্লোমেরুলাসে কি কি আছে? ফেনেস্ট্রে, Fenestrae. ফেনেস্ট্রেটা কি না? পোর ইন এন্ডোথেলিয়াল ওয়ালস অফ গ্লোমেরুলাস। পডোসাইটসটা কি? স্পেশালাইজড সেলস। আর ফিল্ট্রেশন স্লিটস এইগুলোও আছে গ্লোমেরুলাসে। আর রিনাল টিউবিউল, সিরিজ অফ সিঙ্গল লেয়ার টিউবিউলস। এতে কি কি আছে? প্রক্সিমাল কনভলিউটেড টিউবিউল, লুপ অফ হেনলি, ডিস্টাল কনভলিউটেড টিউবিউল। Kidneys are made up of nephrons. Blood enters the nephron where impurities are filtered out and emptied into the collecting duct. The purified blood leaves the nephron through the renal vein. Next, আবার ছবি আঁকা আছে নেফ্রনের। নেফ্রন, ক্যাপিলারিজ, বাউম্যানস ক্যাপসুল, গ্লোমেরুলাস, কালেক্টিং ডাক্ট, ভেইন, আর্টারি, লুপ অফ হেনলি। নেক্সট আর একটা ডিফারেন্ট পার্টস অফ আ নেফ্রনের ছবি। অ্যাফারেন্ট আর্টেরিওল, তারপরেরটা হচ্ছে গ্লোমেরুলাস আর বাউম্যানস ক্যাপসুল, দুটো মিলিয়ে হচ্ছে ম্যালফিজিয়ান ক্যাপসুল। এইদিকে প্রক্সিমাল কনভলিউটেড টিউবিউল, হেনলিজ লুপ। আর একটা অ্যারো দিয়ে লিখেছে ডিরেকশন অফ ফিল্ট্রেট, এটা হচ্ছে ডিফারেন্ট পার্টস অফ আ নেফ্রন। ডান দিকে করেছি ইফারেন্ট আর্টেরিওল, ডিস্টাল কনভলিউটেড টিউবিউল অ্যান্ড কালেক্টিং ডাক্ট। আর অ্যারোটা খুব ভালো করে দিয়ে বোঝানো আছে। নেক্সট কোয়েশ্চেন, স্ট্রাকচার অফ বাউম্যানস ক্যাপসুল, এটাও আঁকা আছে। অ্যাফারেন্ট আর্টেরিওল, ইফারেন্ট আর্টেরিওল, গ্লোমেরুলার ক্যাপসুল আর গ্লোমেরুলাস। আর এই নিচটা হচ্ছে প্রক্সিমাল কনভলিউটেড টিউবিউল। পরেরটা হচ্ছে রিনাল টিউবিউলস অ্যান্ড ব্লাড ভেসেলস। PCT is near, মানে proximal convoluted tubule is nearer to Bowman's capsule. It lies in the cortex region. Loop of Henle, U-shaped hairpin-like structure, consists of two limbs, descending and ascending limb, lie in the medulla. Distal convoluted tubule away from the Bowman's capsule which opens into the collecting duct. এটা হচ্ছে lie in the cortex. এবার afferent arteriole enters the glomerulus and efferent arteriole leaves the glomerulus. Efferent is narrower than the afferent arteriole. The glomerulus is a mass of thin-walled capillaries. The Bowman's capsule is a double-walled cup-shaped structure. The proximal tubule leads from the Bowman's capsule to the loop of Henle. Loop of Henle is a long loop which extends into the medulla. The distal tubule connects the loop of Henle into the collecting duct. Each nephron has its own blood supply. An arteriole, a venule, a network of capillaries connecting them. Each nephron releases fluids into a collecting duct which leads to the ureter. Each kidney contains more than 1 million nephrons. Blood flow through the kidneys. কিভাবে blood enters through the renal artery, তারপরে যায় arterioles, তারপরে each arteriole leads to a nephron, তারপরে যায় renal corpuscle. Next, the glomerulus filters fluid from the blood and is the first place where urine is formed in the kidneys. Blood flows through the glomerulus at a constant rate. Each glomerulus is surrounded by a capsule known as Bowman's capsule. Blood then passes into the renal tubules where some substances are reabsorbed and the remaining become urine. Next, the kidneys. How is blood filtered in the kidneys? As blood enters a nephron through the arteriole, impurities are filtered out and emptied into the collecting duct. The purified blood exits the nephron through the venule. The mechanism of blood purification involves two distinct processes: filtration, reabsorption. এবার filtration. Filtration is passing a liquid or gas through a filter to remove waste is called filtration. The filtration of blood mainly takes place in the glomerulus. The glomerulus is a small network of capillaries encased in the top of the nephron by a hollow cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. Fluids from the blood flows into the Bowman's capsule. The materials filtered from the blood include water, urea, glucose, salts, amino acids, and some vitamins. Plasma proteins, cells, and platelets remain in the blood because they are too large to pass through the capillary walls. Next, reabsorptions. Most of the material removed from the blood at Bowman's capsule makes its way back into the blood. The process in which liquid is taken back into the vessel is called reabsorption. Almost 99% of water that enters Bowman capsule is reabsorbed into the blood. When the filtrate drains in the collecting ducts, most water nutrients have been reabsorbed into the blood. বাঁদিকে হচ্ছে ইফারেন্ট আর্টেরিওল বাউম্যানস ক্যাপসুল, ডান দিকে অ্যাফারেন্ট আর্টেরিওল গ্লোমেরুলাস, এটা হচ্ছে গ্লোমেরুলার ফিল্ট্রেশন। যাই হোক, এটা পুরোটা রিঅ্যাবজর্পশনটা কি, মোস্ট অফ দ্য material removed from the blood at Bowman's capsule makes its way back into the blood. The process in which liquid is taken back in a vessel is called reabsorption. Almost 99% of the water that enters Bowman's capsule is reabsorbed into the blood. When the filtrate drains in the collecting ducts, most water and nutrients have been reabsorbed into the blood. Remaining material called urine is emptied into the collecting duct. Urine is primarily concentrated in the loop of Henle. The loop of Henle is a section of the nephron tubule in which water is conserved and the volume of urine minimized. As the kidney works, purified water is returned to circulation while urine is collected in the urinary bladder. Urine is stored here until it is released from the body through a tube called urethra. এবার production of urine, ultrafiltration. The blood flows through the glomerulus under high pressure so that the ultrafiltration take place. through the glomerular capillaries. The water and many dissolved substances from the blood are filtered into the lumen of the Bowman's capsule. The fluid entering the renal tubule is called glomerular filtrate, which contain water and dissolved substances like urea, uric acid, creatinine, amino acid, glucose, sodium, potassium, vitamins, etc. এবার কি রিঅ্যাবজর্পশন বা টিবিউলার রিঅ্যাবজর্পশন বা সিলেক্টিভ রিঅ্যাবজর্পশন। Reabsorption বা tubular reabsorption বা selective reabsorption. The glomerular filtrate enters the proximal convoluted tubule where absorption of selected materials take place from the filtrate into the blood capillaries. Reabsorption involves both passive and active transport. About tubular secretion, certain substances like tubular secretion, certain substances like potassium ion, hydrogen ion, bicarbonate ion, ammonia, and certain drugs like penicillin are secreted by active transport into the filtrate in the distal convoluted tubule. Tubular secretion is the opposite of tubular reabsorption. Filtrate left after reabsorption and tubular secretion is called urine. Ureters, a tube approximately 6 to 7 inches long attached to each kidney, made up of 3 layers of tissue: smooth muscle, fibrous tissue, mucus layer. Next, peristalsis, a rhythmic contraction of the ureter, smooth muscle which helps to move the urine into the bladder. Urinary bladder, hollow muscular organ that stores urine. Sphincter muscles hold the urine in place, holds 300 to 400 milliliters of urine before emptying. Walls contain epithelial tissue that stretch to allow the bladder to hold twice its capacity. The trigone is a triangular area at the base of the bladder where the ureters enter and the urethra exits. Urethra. Urethra, tube of smooth muscle with a mucus lining that carries urine from the bladder to outside of the body. Where female urethra, approximately 1.5 inches long, opens to the meatus. Approximately male urethra হচ্ছে approximately 8 inches long, passes through 3 different regions: prostate gland, membranous portion, and penis. Female urethra opens through the meatus, meatus. এবার dialysis কি? Blood is removed by tube and pumped through special tubing that acts like nephrons. Tiny pores in the tubing allow salts and small molecules to pass through. Wastes diffuse out of the blood into the fluid-filled chamber, allowing purified blood to be returned to the body. আর যা যা জিনিস হয় ডায়ালিসিসে, ব্লাড ইন টিউবিং ফ্লোজ থ্রু ডায়ালিসিস ফ্লুইড, ব্লাড পাম্প, ভেইন, আর্টারি, শান্ট, এগুলো সব লাগানো আছে। এয়ার ডিটেক্টর আছে, ডায়ালিসিস মেশিন এটা। ইউজড ডায়ালিসিস ফ্লুইডটা যে বার করে দিচ্ছে কম্প্রেসড এয়ার আর ফ্লেশ ডায়ালিসিস ফ্লুইড। নেক্সট, ইউরিন কি? Physical properties of urine: color pale yellow due to pigment, এটাকে বলে ইউরোক্রোম। pH হচ্ছে 5 to 8, usually slightly acidic, pH 6. Odor strong ammonia like due to bacterial infection, otherwise faint smell. এবার constituents of urine: urea, uric acid, creatinine, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonia, তারপরে হাইপিউরিক অ্যাসিড, oxalic acid, HIPPURIC, hypuric acid, oxalic acid, vitamins, hormones, amino acids, water, some inorganic substances like sodium, potassium, Cl minus, phosphate, sulfate, calcium, etc. Hematuria. The blood passes with urine due to infection in urinary tract, kidney stone or tumor. Glycosuria. Excess glucose passes with urine due to diabetes mellitus মানে sugar diabetes. এবার albumin কি due to high blood pressure or due to increased permeability of Bowman's capsule membrane on account of bacterial infection. এবার bile pigments increased in blood and cause anemia. Hepatitis মানে jaundice or due to liver cirrhosis. এবার regulation of urine output. Concentration of urine by water reabsorption is controlled by antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin secreted by posterior lobe of pituitary gland. Hyposecretion of ADH cause diabetes insipidus মানে water diabetes, which cause diuresis, increased production of urine. Osmoregulation কি maintain water and ionic balance in the body. Gout ki uric acid may crystallize and deposit in the joints. এবার kidney stones কি excessive uric acid and certain salts like calcium oxalate may cause kidney stones due to improper functioning of kidney. Volume of urine ki osmolarity, the concentration of solution expressed as the total number of solute particles per liter. Initial filtrate ki 200 m osmol per liter. Final filtrate ki 300 m osmol per liter.